I helped my cousin run his fishing fleet, and we cleared $3 million in net profit. But by the end of the season, he handed me a check for just $50,000.
Here, this is your wage for this season. You need to understand that this fleet is mine. It was I who put up all the capital at the beginning. You're nothing someone I hired to cast a net into the water. Giving you $50,000 is already quite a lot.
I glanced down at the check in my hand. I didn't argue. I didn't make a scene. I just took the money in silence. And then went straight to lease a few of the most rundown, nearly decommissioned boats in the entire harbor. Then came the next summer. His fleet was pulling in almost nothing. A few dead fish floated belly up in his live wells, barely moving with the water's slosh. The stench was brutal. Meanwhile, my boat was packed with massive prime deep-sea fish, all lively and thriving. The second he saw it, his face turned pale. I stood on my packed-out deck and took 2 slow steps back.
Easy, Chris. Don't track whatever disgusting crap is stuck to your boots into my sanitized live wells.
Word around the docks was that he spent that entire night on his knees in the mud, howling until sunrise. He could not figure out how my haul was bigger than his, or why my fish were in way better condition. The day he paid me off, I'd been down in the cabin, logging the sonar readings from the run and tracking ammonia levels in the live wells. Then a brand new Rolls-Royce pulled up by the dock.
Hey, Leo, this year's numbers are in. I've already got your bonus check ready.
I looked at the $50,000 in my hand and said nothing, but in my head, I was already doing the math. 3 years, more than 1,000 days and nights. I lived on those rocking boats. I ate there, slept there, and worked there. And I knew exactly what kind of season we just had. It was a monster year for premium deep-sea fish. Even after the insane diesel costs and the slip fees, the net profit was still close to $3 million. And he was giving me 50 grand.
Listen, Leo, the profit this year was unbelievable. Damn near 3 million. Take the 50 grand, go back into town, and get yourself a decent ride. For the love of God, that junker you drive should have been scrubbed years ago. Let's be honest, throwing out fishing nets isn't exactly a rare skill. You could tie a dog to a post on this dock, and it could do that job. You're still young. Take the money, go to New York, and find yourself something respectable. Stop wasting your life out at sea.
But hearing all that, I felt absolutely nothing. 3 years earlier, when Chris took over the fleet, he nearly ran the whole operation into the ground because he didn't understand offshore currents or live well water conditions. I was the one who turned things around. I brought in a deep-sea radar mapping system I had developed on my own, along with a multi-stage filtration system, which allowed us to locate fish schools with precision and keep the mortality rate of our catch to a minimum.
We'd split the profit 70-30.
I told him I'd provide the technology.
We were family, and that, as the older cousin, I would never let you get the short end of the stick.
All right, Chris, I'll take the money.
He probably didn't expect me to take it so easily.
Man, take the cash and go enjoy a proper vacation. Oh, and one more thing. The filter pump in hold number 2's acting up. Get someone to fix it before you leave.
I turned and walked straight into the cold, late autumn wind off the North Atlantic because I knew exactly what was coming. Without my precise hold, calibrations, and route adjustments, his so-called well-equipped boats wouldn't be able to find the fish at all. And his live wells wouldn't be able to keep deep-sea fish alive. He was going to lose everything. I didn't go back home to town. I didn't want to run into anyone I knew, asking how much I'd made this season, or how Chris had treated me. So I kept walking along the coastal road by the harbor, the air thick with the smell of salt and fish. Then my phone lit up. It was Chris, already showing off all over social media his car, his house, even screenshots of his bank balance. And of course, the relatives flooded the comments, hyping him up. I shut off the screen without a word and headed toward Pier 9 at the far edge of the harbor. A few abandoned fishing boats had been sitting there for years, rusted through, reeking of old engine oil. The hulls were so worn down that even the drifters in town kept their distance. I stood on the algae-covered pier, staring at what everyone else saw as scrap metal. Then I crouched down, ran my hand along the anti-rust coating below the waterline, and took a closer look. That's when an idea surfaced, one I couldn't ignore. Didn't he say anyone could do this job? Then I'd show him what real high-tech fishing actually looks like.
Morning, Mr. Barnes. How's it going? Morning, Leo. Shouldn't you be busy on Chris's fleet right now? What brings you here? Those rust scrap boats on Pier 9, are they up for lease? Good God, those antiques belong to the scrapyard. The engines are practically dust. What do you want them for? You couldn't pay a town drunk to look twice at them. How much for a year, sir? Listen, if you're dead set on it, it's $1,000 a year, just to make it official.
But let's get one thing straight. When they sink or bankrupt you, the Port Authority ain't wiping your ass.
50 grand would cover 5 years, easy. That still left plenty for advanced live well filtration and new sonar.
5 years, sir. Let's sign right now.
Don't be stupid, Leo. Chris just made serious cash. You should
Just bring the contract.
Those abandoned boats were huge. Their decks were sealed under a thick crust of rust and sludge, stinking of raw oil.
Has Leo lost his mind? He actually thinks those wrecks can sail? He's totally lost it.
Chris hands him 50 grand, and instead of saving it to settle down, he dumps it on trash. What a damn fool!
Then Chris pulled up in his Rolls Royce just to twist the knife.
Hey, Lico! If you really didn't know how to spend that 50 grand, I could have taken you to a strip club in Boston for a wild night. Why are you out here playing the bum with this pile of junk?